The following podcast is a presentation of Project Entertainment Network.
Morning, critics, and welcome to the 17th episode of the Recreational Critics Podcast of the Project Entertainment Network, where we review streaming service films for unqualified opinions. I'm your host, Jason, with my co-host,
James.
This week, we're going over the movie The Last Day of American Crime, starring Edgar Ramirez. But before we do, me and James banter about nonsense and news and all kinds of stuff. If you'd like to skip around, there are timestamps in the description below. James, what'd you do this week?
I just got to say something real quick.
Okay.
If we do many more movies like this, it's going to be the last day of this podcast.
Okay. That's a little sneak peek to how James feels about the movie. That's also how I feel about the movie, because this movie was really hard to watch.
Yep.
And it's very misleading how Netflix puts it on the front page. Like, number 4 movie in the U.S.
We tricked a whole bunch of people into watching this.
Gotcha.
Dumpster fire.
Gotcha, fuckers.
I worked. Played some disc golf.
Yeah.
Watched a little bit of TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a pretty exciting week, if you will. You
Yes,
know
you did.
about some of it.
Yeah.
I got engaged.
Congratulations.
She got on her knee and asked me to be her husband. I said no. I stood her up. I got down on my knee and threw the ring at her and told her we're just going to get married.
Nice.
That wasn't how any of it went down, but that's how I wanted it to go down. Actually, I didn't get down on my knee all the way because I had blissies on my knees. Can you see them?
Yeah.
It was hurting, so I kind of got up and did like a half lunge kind of thing.
You couldn't just man up for like 30 seconds?
It hurt, man. And okay, 30 seconds of it was
I
her
could just imagine you going down on one knee and be like, oh, gosh.
Actually, 30 seconds of it was her crying uncontrollably until she finally told me yes. So it's a good thing I didn't have to man up for 30 seconds. It would have turned into 2 minutes.
You're swapping knees.
Doing like alternate lunges. Getting a cardio workout.
Yep.
That's it I really did for this week, other than watch this terrible movie. And because we got engaged, she would never watch a James Bond movie with me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, was she giggity all week. Like, if I sit down and be like, oh, I'm thirsty, she's on me like, oh, that sucks. So get yourself a drink. But this time I sat down and go like, I'm thirsty. In the kitchen, got me a drink, came back. I was like, oh, man, I wonder how.
You propose to her every week.
If someone at work was like, you need to hold off a couple weeks for the save the date or whatever, and then pick a date, and then you got 2 more weeks of her being
really
all happy.
drag this thing out.
Yeah. Drag out the happiness until it's all over again, and she remembers how much she doesn't like you. So yeah, that's exciting. I, for the most part, just been planning the wedding and picking my groom's party. I have a few of my groomsmen picked out, and
Nice.
I have a best man picked out.
Anybody I know?
It's you.
Oh,
I already asked you.
yes.
You cried uncontrollably for a minute,
I did.
and then you
But
said
I got to
yes.
hide it through text message.
Well, I asked you in person too at one point. So
That's
you
true.
know I've been planning this now for a little while.
Yes.
And then COVID hit and
Yes.
everything went to shit. So, yeah, James is gonna be my best mensch, my bestest mensch. Or how do they say it?
You said best man,
Yeah.
and I said your bestest mensch.
Yeah.
and I
that's
sent
from
you-
an Office quote.
Yes, and I sent you a picture of Dwight.
Crying.
Yes,
Yes, good. So you actually did cry too in the text message.
I
It
did.
was quite ideal.
I illustrated that I was crying.
Yes.
But like the sociopaths we're all turning into, I really made no facial emotion expression, and I just typed out how I felt.
Oh, that's gonna be brought up in this movie because the sociopath was like a subplot
Oh.
of this movie.
Can we just procrastinate talking about this movie?
I can push it to at least 20 minutes, but I can't go any farther than that.
All right.
Okay, we'll make that one work. You want to just get into news?
Yeah.
Okay, so Batwoman. We talked about Batwoman.
Yes.
Ruby Rose is out
Mm-hmm.
for a few reasons. She didn't want to be a part of this movie anymore, or this TV show anymore. And she hurt her back in a prior filming of her show.
Oh.
And it was giving her too many problems. So she's
Interesting.
out. And so the question was whether the show was going to be out or not. And it's not. The show's coming back, and they aren't going to recast Batwoman. What they're going to do is recast a new character who takes up the mantle of Batwoman.
Interesting.
I believe they already picked out the person. I don't remember who it is. I don't care to look it up at the moment because I'm not going to ever watch that show.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of done with all the CW superhero shows.
Yeah, they're all
I
terrible.
can't really do it anymore.
Next bit of news is about another CW show. Hartley Sawyer was fired from the Flash show. He plays the elongated man.
Yes.
You know why this was?
I do.
What happened?
Because he used to say a whole bunch of really edgy, dumb shit on Twitter all the time.
Yeah, like what a kid would say. He was like 20.
Did you read it?
Yeah, he was. I read some of them.
It was some pretty awful stuff.
Yeah, and he got in trouble for it.
So I understand that like humor changes, and I've told you a bunch of times I'm not really a big fan of holding people's feet to the fire for things they did in a different time. Right. And I think that, 2011, 2012 was a different time.
Yeah.
But man, he said a lot of really messed up stuff.
Right. What were some of the things that you remember?
Cutting women's breasts off.
Yes, that was probably the one comment that definitely ended his
animal
career.
Cruelty. And
yeah, I did read about that one.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of like really edgy 4chan stuff. Not to call out 4chan, but like 4chan. You know who you are.
Yeah. You know who you are if you're listening to this. You can just go ahead and turn this off because it's going to be for you. We lost 0 fans because I'm really hoping none of our fans are 4chan people.
If they are, it doesn't matter.
Whatever.
But yeah, I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm. There comes a point of people I don't think should be chastised for some of the things they say. Comedians are one of them.
Yes. But he wasn't being funny.
No, he wasn't. So like when a comedian, a Dave Chapelle, a Kevin Hart, if you will, gets on stage and says something, they're not being serious.
Right.
They're doing it for a laugh or they're doing it for a reaction.
Yes.
But people want them held responsible nowadays. And that's the worst thing for comedy.
Also, there are things that were publicly acceptable and not really frowned on at all during a time.
Right.
That are not okay now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we grow as a culture and we find out that, hey, that is offensive and we should probably all stop doing that. And progress is made. So I really don't want to go back and look at Twitter and judge somebody by a gay joke they made in 2005.
Right, before gay rights was really a thing that was in the movement, and and marriage.
It's always been a thing. It's just I think we're becoming better people.
Okay, yeah, I can stand by that.
But some people are just saying crazy stuff,
right?
And CW doesn't really want to. Yeah,
cutting off some titties and stuff like that.
Yeah, and freedom of speech only really applies to the government's ability to restrict it.
But you're taking away my freedoms.
Yeah, CW can fire anybody they want for any reason they want.
Yeah, they're not the government.
No.
What, freedom of speech only
even the government can fire you for freedom of speech. They just can't pass legislation to restrict it.
Or arrest you.
I mean, they can.
Actually, they can, yeah.
Supreme Court has decided that.
In some situations, they actually can, yeah.
Yes. This is all pretty ironed out.
Yeah, that's true. All right. I'm going to move on.
He should have deleted the tweets. It basically boils down to that.
You would think that someone gets that famous, they're like, I might as well get rid of these crazy tweets I made.
Yep.
Dummies. All right.
Oh, one more thing.
Okay.
I don't like when people apply their like moral convictions against people they don't care about.
Yeah.
But then if somebody does something crazy that they're a fan of, like I am a part of the Flash subreddit, and there's a lot of people like, oh my God, you can't do this. He's shown how much he grows. He volunteers with animals.
Right.
But if you look back at some of these people, they're like, no, this person should burn for this thing they did.
Right. Be consistent with your outrage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's like one of your famous lines. You always talk about people being outraged as long as they're consistent with it.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. You got too many people who are like, well, I like Grant Gustin, and if he wants to cut off some titties, that's like, he was young, he was all right.
He made mistakes.
But Hartley Sawyer, that guy needs to rot. That guy needs to be buried underneath the prison.
Yeah. If something is offensive to you, like it should be offensive no matter who does it.
Yeah, that ain't ever gonna happen. You're not gonna find.
Just saying what should be.
Maybe we can put a signal in people's brains to help them get there.
Maybe
make them stop saying stuff before they say it.
Maybe we can turn the voltage up enough to where my head explodes.
All right, so Hawkeye is getting a movie. Did you know about this?
What?
Yeah, the Hawkeye movie.
He was barely in the Avengers movies.
He actually showed up less and less as they got along, to the point he didn't show up in one of them and nobody noticed.
He wasn't in an Infinity game.
That's the one.
Infinity Wars, whatever. I fucking blended
you just
the
mixed
names.
Endgame and Infinity War together, which is fine because they were filmed together, so it works the same.
My brain has been so off this weekend.
Yeah.
I had the oil changed in our vehicle at the dealership, and I went outside and I claimed that a different vehicle was mine. It was the same type of vehicle, but I was like, yeah, that one's mine. I confused the service guy so much that he was concerned. He thought that he swapped 2 vehicles on accident.
No.
So basically, he had to figure all this out and then come politely ask me if I was sure that was my vehicle.
Oh, my God.
And then I was like, oh, no, that's not mine. So that's the level I've been operating on.
So, yeah, Hawkeye's going to get his own movie. I say movie, TV series, actually, is what I mean, on Disney+.
Okay.
So, you know how, like, the Captain America's getting all that stuff. Captain America and the Winter Soldier, whatever it is.
Yes.
Who else is on TV show? Loki and WandaVision.
Yes.
Hawkeye's getting one called Anchor Point. Is currently the working title.
Okay.
For it. So I'm not excited to watch that because I don't give a shit about Hawkeye.
I feel like we ironed out his story pretty well.
Well, he got like the most story, and was it Age of Ultron?
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of came back in Endgame for a second, you know, and you kind of felt for him. And then very quickly he forgot and didn't care. First off, was he still paying the phone bill for his wife? It'd been 5 years. She came back from the dead.
Don't pick apart Endgame. I can't do it.
And she called him.
Please.
That's a lot of
I'm
wasted
asking.
minutes. Hopefully he was just paying for the minutes, not unlimited. Because then that's just a big old waste. All right. So Tenet, that movie we both want to see.
Yeah.
By Christopher Nolan. Is being pushed back to July 31st. So originally it came out July 14th, 15th.
I don't think it's going to happen.
You don't think it's going to come out at all?
No, I mean, it's going to come out eventually.
Right.
But with the COVID cases ramping back up,
yeah,
we're not really going to see that summer slump everybody thought we were.
Yeah. So that's too bad.
Yep.
You think the theaters are still going to open up, though?
Honestly, I think they're going to try to not do it, but I think it's going to get pretty bad if we don't.
You mean?
If we don't put restrictions back or if we
up.
start lifting them blindly.
Yeah. Well,
I hope it doesn't. I hope everything's fine and this is just, 2020 kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But
well, there's also the talks of like, if this keeps going, you know, how long can we survive as a society? Putting restrictions and everything, you know, and not surviving, I should say, because we can survive. Who gives a fuck? But, you know, growing as a society and having luxuries that we've always had, you know, forever.
Right.
You think there's gonna come a point, maybe this goes on for like a year, this is to be like, we're gonna reopen. If you get it, you get it.
I'm kind of broke. We can let 3% of the population die.
Right. Do you think that's how it's gonna go though?
I think so. Yeah.
It's gonna get to the point. It's like if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah. Hopefully, a vaccine just gets through human trials, and then we can not have to figure that out.
Yet?
They just pushed them up to July, I think, is what I saw.
Oh, okay. Why would they push it up though? With everything going on, you think they were just? Well, okay.
No, they moved it closer.
Oh, so they were expecting it later.
They didn't push it back. They pushed it.
Ooh, they
forward.
pulled it.
Yes.
Okay. Good for them. FDA, I'm guessing, or CDC, or one of the two.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Something along those lines. Who cares?
I'm kind of COVID numb at this point.
Yeah. Wonder Woman 84 got pushed from August to October. Who gives a fuck? This movie is not getting advertised at all.
I know.
And you think that's intentional on Warner Brothers'
I
part?
I want to watch it just to see how they explain some things.
What things you want them to explain? Like,
you said you haven't even watched the trailer.
Right.
So I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. I need to watch that trailer.
Yeah, if you watch the trailer,
we
can talk about it.
Okay, I'll watch that trailer. I'll let you know when I watch it. Currently, there is a 50-page treatment for a new Alien-Ripley movie.
I just rolled my eyes. That's how I feel about it.
You put your head down for a second. Went, ugh, not this again.
I'm not attached to any of those movies.
Yeah, I like them. The early ones. What I don't like is Resurrection.
Yeah, I haven't seen the first couple since I was a kid.
Right. So they're good. You know, Ripley's a good character. Sigourney Weaver's a little too old, I think, to come back for the role. Maybe you can say it's in the future kind of thing. But the Alien franchise destroyed itself with the 2 prequels. Basically saying that humanity created the xenomorphs. But how could we have created the xenomorphs? The xenomorphs are there from, like, you know, the AVP days and way before and stuff like that.
It's messy.
It's a really messy timeline. It's not as messy as the X-Men timeline, but nothing really is. That timeline's fucking broken.
Yep.
I don't want to talk more about the Alien movies until another one comes out, and my mouse stopped working.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, I got it. Okay, so Dave Chapelle has a new special out. Have you heard about it?
I have.
So it's on YouTube. He released it for free. It's not a stand-up comedy. Don't watch it if you think it's for stand-up. Now, if you want to hear a living legend, speaker, talk about his observations of what's going on, that's a good place to go. So it's 27 minutes, and it's him talking about the racial injustice in the last couple of decades. And it's awesome. He does have 2 jokes about Candace Owen smelling bad, but that's really it. Have you have any comments on this thing? It's called 846. So it represents the amount of time they knelt on George Floyd's neck.
I plan on watching it. I shouldn't have time today.
Yeah.
I really wanted to, but
I watched it yesterday when it came out because I was like, oh boy, a new Dave Chappelle stand-up. I'm going to laugh my ass off. And then he made me feel really bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't like him, but people loved it. Because Dave Chappelle's one of those guys, he doesn't really ever stand up and speak about what's going on in the world. And he makes that apparent in this, that he doesn't want to be that celebrity that's out there, telling the people how to feel and how to think. Because you probably observed it too, that when a celebrity speaks, people are like, oh my God, can you believe George Clooney just said that? Or Christian Bale. It's like, who gives a fuck what these people have to say? They're just like you and me, but they don't live our lives.
Some people do care, so they use the platform for...
Yeah, but he's saying they shouldn't be using the platform, that he wants us, the people, to be the platform, not for Dave Chappelle to be the platform, or Don Lemon. He actually calls out Don Lemon in that. Oh, and he talks about Laura Ingraham. That was a pretty funny bit that he did. What are you looking up over there?
I was trying to find something.
Oh.
What are you calling me out for, man?
You don't usually look at your phone like that, so...
Sometimes I'm trying to frantically find something. I saw a quote today.
Okay.
And it was by somebody who was a funny person.
Yep.
And it was Norm Macdonald. And the quote was...
I looked at that quote today as well.
I used to think Dave Chappelle was the next Pryor. Now I think he's the next Martin Luther King.
Yeah. Yep. I read that quote today, and after watching that special, I was like, yeah.
It's pretty wild.
He could be, but he doesn't want to be.
That's big praise from another comedian.
Yeah. I don't think he wants to be the next MLK, though. He just wants to be a comedian.
Yeah.
But I think enough has been enough for him. He finally just decided to speak up. So he had like a COVID...
I don't think he ever stopped speaking up.
I don't think he ever did. Ever.
He just has spent a long time running away from the fame of it.
Okay. I just don't think he speaks up about racial injustice and stuff like that.
I don't know, man. Watch all of his specials.
You're right. But he talks about it in a joking manner, right?
That's the delivery. He's a comedian.
Sure. But this time it wasn't.
Yeah.
A comedic delivery. This time he was serious, and he ended it on a serious note. But it was weird watching it because it starts off with the guests showing up, and they all have to sit in chairs or like in designated spots, and they have to wear masks, get their temperatures taken and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a neat thing. He said it's the first concert, if you will, held post-COVID or during COVID or whatever. So
Wild.
He's like, we're making history. But I'm going to move on to this very great movie you wanted to watch.
Lovely.
All right. So the movie Last Days of American Crime, I only made it to 18 minutes and 40 seconds.
That's fine. You wanted to watch this movie. That's very important.
Actually, what happened was a thing popped up on my phone saying Last Days of American Crime, new Netflix movie, hit 0% Rotten Tomatoes. My response was, that'll be easy to shit on. Let's do it.
Right.
So I watched it last night, and I turned it off. I watched it again today, turned it off, and then turned it back on to finish it for this podcast. Because, boy, is this movie a fucking dumpster fire.
It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
And it's so bad. It does not deserve to be 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Incoherent.
Yeah, it doesn't make any... It has so many subplots and plots that go along with it. Okay, so... It's a heist movie. You've all seen the heist...
Sure it is.
Okay, right. That's how it's opened up, right? It's a heist movie. You've all seen the heist movie, except now they're going to throw this neat little thing in there that doesn't work. And that being this, like, background story of the government creating a a signal, a sound, if you will, that stops people from committing crimes if they know it's unlawful. But at what point does it make you stop committing crimes, and for how long? And like,
who knows?
you're right. If you like are being affected by this signal and you're like, oh, I'm not going to commit this crime anymore, does it stop or does it keep going? It doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
And so it's America's last ditch effort to stop crime in the country. And in doing so, it just creates more crime, more chaos, and it makes America this like totally totalitarian state in a very unbelievable fashion. To me, it was unbelievable. I couldn't buy into it from minute one. And so he gets hired in by this guy who's just like a crazy cokehead to rob a bank, essentially, right? A Federal Reserve. So Den of Thieves, if anyone's seen Den of Thieves. And that's going to be his last crime before they run away to Canada, which doesn't have this signal machine, which probably would in like 10 years, right? You would think so. Or like people in Winnipeg, that's right on the border. Are they affected by the signal?
Nope.
Why not?
Because you have to have a tower everywhere. It's like 5G.
Right, but like they only show the maps of the towers. There's like one tower per state. So one tower covered a big area.
None of this movie made any sense, man.
Winnipeg is right on the border. People on the border, because we're only 13 miles from the border, they made that very clear.
Yes.
Tower to border.
Yep.
So that guy, so people in Winnipeg, like, they're just getting fucked. And Canada's over there like, America, what the hell, man?
Maybe it only works if you are an American citizen.
Right. You're an American citizen. We put the signal in your head when you're born here in America, and then we're going to capitalize on that signal 40 years from now. Just you wait. What are you looking up at this movie?
Okay. So I was trying to find the budget, and there's not one. Probably $1 billion because how much film they use for this thing.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did find was Roger Ebert's review on it.
Okay.
I just wanted to read the first sentence.
Okay.
The only crime here is cinematic. That's how he starts it off. I don't always agree with Roger Ebert, but he's pretty on point. It's not often one sees a film as vile, ugly, and deeply incompetent as Olivier Megaton's The Last Days of American Crime.
Yeah, so he did the Taken 2 and Taken 3 movies. And
those were fine.
I didn't like them.
I said they're fine. Like,
right.
I don't own them. I've never rewatched them.
Right.
But I did watch them, and I don't remember them being especially brutal.
That's fair. This one was terrible to watch. So the main character, Brick, he is played by Edgar Ramirez, and basically his brother went to jail, and he's just waiting out his time until the signal goes live, right? At which point, then, he finds out his brother was killed in jail, or killed himself. And he's like, oh, my life sucks. I'm going to go kill myself. So he buys pills from a Dr. Kevorkian of sorts, you know, who's just chilling at a bar selling suicide pills to people. And he buys it and goes back to the bar to drink. To where a woman walks in and puts her hand in his ice for some reason, and then they make out and go have sex in the bathroom.
So as Jason is trying to explain this movie, it is probably going to sound like he's having a stroke because he's going to bounce in and out of reality. What he says is not going to make any sense.
Oh, God.
But I promise you, he is describing this movie as in the best way that he can. And all of it is factually accurate.
Yep. At which point, after they have sex for 5 seconds, he walks back outside to a guy looking for him, who's part of a crime family. He's trying to kill Brick, but he's actually there to not kill Brick, to hire Brick to rob the reserve and go to Canada before the crime signal turns on. And this movie, at which point, is probably like the 30-minute mark, and the heist is just now beginning. And then another 30 minutes later of weird sexual advances by that chick, Shelby, narration, and a side plot of a cop who's debating quitting the force. Well, not quitting the force. They're all being disbanded.
Yes.
Because there's no point of having cops anymore. No one can even commit crimes. But now cops...
Unless they're just super tough.
We'll get to that. So now cops are... police precincts are closing down, right? And you can get a chip put into your neck if you want, which allows you to then commit crimes.
But only cops are getting it.
Only cops are, and maybe federal employees, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And people working there. Because the whole thing's a fucking crime, so why not just make it that way? So, this cop kills someone in the precinct because he pulls a gun on him. Right? He blows the guy's heads off, and then he's like, I want that chip. Well, no shit you want that chip. You just killed a guy, so now you know if you need to kill people again, the chip's good to go. But they make it seem like this cop had a backstory that was like in a previous movie or something, and this is a sequel to that movie because he talks about going back out on the field and doing it right. Did he do something wrong? Is there a reason he hasn't been out in the field? And so you bounce back and forth between that cop doing like day-to-day cop stuff and then the heist. And then you bounce around to the story of the family of the long-haired guy that hired Brick, the crime family. He goes back home to get daddy's approval, and then daddy doesn't like him, so then he kills his daddy and his sister, and then takes some weapons from his dad and some bombs to do the heist. You forget there's even a heist going on half the time. And then you find out the chick's actually like a double agent working for the FBI because her sister was kidnapped by the FBI, and she's trying to run away to Canada with her sister, but now she loves Brick. But she's an opportunist who loves both of them, Brick and Cash. Cash is the guy that hired Brick. It's such a fucking mess.
Yep.
2 hours in, and the heist finally begins. And the heist takes all 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then it's just this dumb crime thing the entire time of this signal. This movie is so incoherent. I can't even explain
Whoever
it.
made this movie was proud of it, though.
Because
the way it was shot and the way
it was so serious.
Oh yeah.
And Brick had this very serious look all the time. He actually had the same look the entire movie.
He thought he was going to get an Oscar.
Yeah. He had that very like deep, sincere, like, yeah, look, like, I understand what you're saying, but like I'm a badass.
He's like, this is my baby driver.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, and the one-liners. You want to talk about all the one-liners in this movie? There's so many zingers and quippy moments in this. It's fucking atrocious. It's so unbearable how much things he says or how he shows up to like situations. Shelby, the chick, is about to get raped by a mob guy or something like that. And he's just there right behind him, standing there presumably for like 10 seconds before he starts choking him. Or the opening scene of the movie where he's dumping gasoline on the guy and just making one-liner after one-liner to then go sit on a bed quietly around a bunch of dead bodies.
Yep.
They tried so hard to make this movie serious, but they followed every trope of every heist movie ever without adding anything new or exciting to this.
It's awful.
This movie's awful, man. I don't know who the fuck watches this movie for entertainment, but
no one. Even Netflix isn't promoting this movie.
They were promoting it, or promoting in the sense that it's top 4 and in their top 10
I think people
series.
are going out and finding it because of how bad it is.
You think that's the reason why they're finding it?
Dude, it is not on anywhere on Netflix's like
recommended or
yes.
Yeah.
You have to search it.
I just didn't know. I didn't know what to expect from this movie at all. And then as you started, you're like, okay, it's gonna be a heist movie. I've seen Den of Thieves. I've seen Money Heist and all that stuff. I know what I'm getting myself into here. But it wasn't even a heist movie at all because it jumps around from plot to plot. And then it's the love plot between Brick and Shelby. They
Dude,
focus way too much on.
No one edited this movie. No one did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so the twist is, as there's always a twist, always someone's betraying somebody else. Cash is immune to the signal. And he's immune to it because it was tested on him in prison where Rory, Brick's brother, didn't kill himself. He was murdered by Cash in like a fight club ran by the guards. And during that fight club, they would test the signal on them to get them to stop fighting and then go back to fighting, stop fighting kind of thing.
Yes.
And he realized, I'm a sociopath. Therefore, the signal doesn't work on me because I don't care about the law. So then he snapped out of the signal.
Yes.
And beat him to death.
Yes. So
at the very end, the signal's going on, and he shoots one of the heist members, if you will. I don't remember his name. Who who gives a fuck? He was a driver.
Yeah.
And then shoots Brick in the gut with a shotgun.
From 3 feet away.
Point blank range to where Brick is now on his knees. He can't move because the crime signal won't let him move or whatever.
Yes.
He then shoots Brick's ear off.
Yes.
With a shotgun.
Baby Driver style.
And then just like talk shit the entire time until the FBI shows up and kills him.
Can I tell you what I thought was going to happen after that?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to do it to his other ear as well. And then he wouldn't be able to hear the signal. And then he was going to be able to kill Cash.
I would buy that 100%. That would be a much better way than how he breaks the signal.
Yes.
So how he breaks the signal is he takes that cyanide pill that Dr. Kevorkian gave him.
Yes.
And it's not even cyanide. It's like some uranium shit from Soviet Russia. They made a big point to talk about that. And he takes both the pills, which he had in his pocket or his bag or something for some reason on this heist. And
is suicide a crime in Michigan? Because if it was, how did he take the pills?
Right. And which is a crime almost everywhere, right? Other than Oregon. This is a suicide.
I'm just throwing out stupid scenarios.
No, I'm on your side, though.
Yeah.
It's against the law, so he shouldn't have been even put the pills in his mouth. But is it because suicide's illegal is what made it to where he doesn't die for so long? Because this pill was supposed to kill him, but he lives for like 2 days or some shit
I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense.
And he beats the signal.
Yes.
Because he took the pills, the signal wore off.
Yeah. And Cash is already dead. Because FBI agents killed him.
Yeah.
So he goes and kills 2 FBI agents.
So that way he can get away.
Yes.
To save Shelby.
Who just blew up a server farm.
For this tower.
Yes. While under the effects of the radio signal. So she committed terrorism.
Right. And she was good to go. Yeah. And then they ride away.
But you can't override self-defense. You just have to get murdered.
That's another good point. You brought that up before we started recording today. So if he's being killed by Cash, is it at which point legal for him to kill Cash? But it's not because he wasn't able to. He tried.
Yeah.
So self-defense doesn't work. You're just fucked if some guy commits a crime and kills you.
Yes.
They ride away to Canada to where he dies on the road driving, or he's dying. And Shelby tells him she loves him, even though she just met him 2 days ago. And then he dies and she leaves with his brother's ashes.
Yes.
And then dumps him somewhere
and
else.
then her sister apparates into Canada.
Her sister's already there.
Oh, was she?
Remember when she met with her sister? And
I don't remember a lot about this movie.
Okay. So when you first find out she's working with the FBI, it's because they kidnapped her sister. And she's like, hey, this is where you want to catch Cash and Brick and kill them or whatever. And then whatever, right? And they're like, all right, well, here's your sister in the back of the car. And they handed her like a passport and some money. And she's like, you know where to go. I'll meet you there.
Okay.
And I'm guessing that was Canada.
I guess I blacked that part out.
Yeah, because Canada's the land of the free. They made a point that
land of the free, home of the A.
Land of the free, home of the eh?
A.
And that's the end of the movie.
Yep.
It's so fucking terrible. Oh, they keep zooming in on American flags. Did you notice that? Every time an American flag came by, they just zoomed in on it for like 20 seconds. And they said the line of the movie twice.
Every single shot in this movie was 20 seconds. Never before in a movie have I seen someone start having sex and be done having sex all in the same uncut shot. It is no wonder why this movie is 2.5 hours long.
Me and Naomi were watching this together last night, that first bit, when I turned it off after an hour. And she was like, are we watching a high-budget porno? And I said, I think porn has better stories than this.
You're not wrong.
Because the first hour of it is just him and Shelby keep meeting up to have sex.
Yep.
And it's like, what the fuck am I watching?
Over and over.
Oh, man. This movie is terrible. Oh, his buddy's name is Ross. He brings him out of retirement. The guy who has like a family and kids now and stuff. He brings him out of retirement for one last job. But Brick was also the guy who was brought back in for one last job. Because he was done also.
I challenge you to get through this movie, listeners.
Oh, yeah. I don't want you to watch it because I
don't either.
It got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it is one of 42 movies to do so. And we actually covered one of the movies that did it. Ridiculous 6.
Yeah?
That was on the list of top worst movies ever.
The only reason this was worse than Ridiculous 6 is because it was longer.
I think it was more incoherent than Ridiculous 6.
Of course.
Ridiculous 6 had a plot, right?
Yes.
Save my dad. Get enough money to save my dad. And then he met brothers along the way. And they stayed on that plot from start to finish. It never deviated. This movie deviated from the main plot like 15 times.
So whoever wrote this, it seemed like they had like 500 words of idea.
Yeah.
And had to write a 7,000 word script.
Right.
Because so many things are introduced that are just crazy.
Yeah, this whole movie is fucking nuts. I would never watch this movie again. I don't recommend it to anyone.
Honestly.
Unless you want to watch something so bad that it hurts your brain and makes you just want to watch something you already like.
Honestly, you could give this movie to a good editor, cut an hour out of it, and make a decent flick.
Get rid of all the cop stuff.
Yes.
Get rid of all the porn stuff.
Yes.
Sex stuff or whatever. And then get rid of the daddy, I need your approval side story.
And what was the point?
Just the heist. Just give me the heist.
Going back to the server farm stuff. So this server farm is what puts out the signal.
Yeah.
She hacks it the first time.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Then goes back and blows it up. Why
right.
didn't she just blow it up in the first place?
You're right. So she hacks it to give them 30 minutes extra time.
Yep.
The whole state of Michigan is like 30 minutes of extra time for the signals to not affect them or whatever. Compared to the rest of the country that gets like it instantaneously at midnight. And then she gets like beat up by the cop. And then she accidentally kills him because she can't kill him purposefully because of the signal. But she can't run away from him either. You know what I mean? Like, he's back to self-defense.
Yes.
And so she knocks him down off the table, or he knocks himself down off the table and impales himself in the neck with some glass. He dies. She goes back to the server room with a bomb. So she had a bomb on her the entire time and then blows it up.
Yep.
Yeah. What did you think of the guy that she got into the tower with? So she goes into the tower main room because she like basically catfished a guy on Tinder, if you will, who's like one of the head guys of that tower. And so he comes to walk her in, and the guard is like, "Hey man, she has a record, she can't come in." You expect this guy that she like catfished, if you will, to be like a fat slob, you know, like can't get a girl kind of thing. Like a pretty girl talks to him and he's like, "Oh yeah, pretty girl, I'll do whatever you want." He's a good looking guy. And he looks like he's fit, you know, or something. He looks normal. And he doesn't look like he's like a security guard in the back. He's the head of the like tower.
Yes.
And he still falls for this. But whatever. Besides that, the guard's like, "Hey, she can't come in. You know, she's a very violent criminal. She has a record." And he's like, "Do you know who the fuck I am?" And like shows his badge to the guy and then just walks off. If I was the guard, I'd be like, "Nah, do you know who the fuck I am? I'm the one that lets people in this building. She's not coming in. Let's sign some paperwork real quick that would definitely ruin her plan for the next 40 minutes.
Pretty much every security vulnerability ever demonstrated right there.
Yeah. You just had to tie her up for another 40 minutes in paperwork.
Yep.
And the whole plan with the shit.
Yeah, just one security guard like, no, this is what you pay me for.
Yeah.
Get her out. I don't care.
like
Rules apply to everyone.
He's like a federal agent or something. He's carrying an M4.
Yep.
The whole thing's wild. And so they kill people willy-nilly. The federal agents. You cross the border, they kill you. They don't even arrest you. They just shoot you dead. If you like talk to them wrong, they shoot you dead.
Yep.
They don't give a fuck. But Shelby blows up like the whole like top 4 stories of this tower, walks out to the front, and 5 guys follow her with M16s, yelling at her to stop.
For a while.
She walks like another 200 yards. They just keep following her.
Then she stands in the middle of the road, facing away.
Yep.
They count down from 5.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they say 1, and then are immediately Deus Ex Machina, and they get ran over by Brick and a semi-truck.
Right.
And then she blows on her fingers like it's a gun, like she planned all that.
Right. She didn't plan any of that. Brick's been shot in the gut and the ear.
Yeah.
And he showed up at the last second.
Yeah, he's bleeding out in the truck.
And that was your plan? It's a terrible plan.
Yeah, this is the worst plan
first
ever.
Off, every other cop would just shoot you at the fucking door.
Yes.
But these cops, for some reason, thought you were hot enough to wait at least 5 more seconds.
And their 50 caliber machine guns don't disable semi-trucks.
Oh, when they're escaping into Canada.
Yes. 2 times.
They had like a gauntlet.
Belt-fed 50 cals.
Yeah, they had a gauntlet of machine guns.
Yeah.
No one aimed for a tire.
You could aim anywhere on that truck.
Sure.
You could cut that truck in half.
I'm gonna concede that the engine's reinforced or some shit like that. I'm conceding it. Don't look into it. I'm conceding it. None of them shot at a fucking
What
tire.
is it up armored with?
Adamantium.
I knew you were gonna say that. I hate you.
Vibranium.
Whatever.
You name it. This movie's so bad. And, she makes out with him in the car, and she keeps grabbing his ear that just got shot off.
Tina said the same thing. She watched 50 minutes of this movie, and she's like, "Stop touching his ear." He doesn't even wince.
He doesn't flinch at all. Like, that thing's gotta be raw. I'd be like, ah!
Like, what are you, crazy? Stop touching my ear.
Is it because he's dying from the poison? Like, the pain of his ear is fine? It's like,
maybe.
He's like, yeah, put your finger in it.
Can you flick it?
Give me a titty twister in my ear, please.
You got any salt?
Grab my earlobe and just go. This movie is so bad. All right, I'm done talking about this movie. It gets a 0 out of 10 for me.
Oh, yeah. You can't go lower than this.
No. We talked about Ridiculous 6 and 6 Underground being our worst movies we've seen.
Yes, I put them at a 1.
Yeah. This is fucking atrocious.
Yes, this movie shouldn't have been made.
Or bought. Netflix bought this movie.
Yeah.
That bothers me to my core that they bought this movie.
Nobody even watched it.
They probably paid him like $1 million and went, yeah, we'll just give you guys $1 million.
We'll see if people will watch this pile of shit.
So Naomi tried looking for the budget last night because she wanted to know how much of a budget this porno was. And she couldn't find anything like you couldn't. And I was like, I bet you they're so embarrassed about how bad this movie was, they didn't want to release what their budget was. Because they don't want to. This movie is fucking terrible.
Yep. The person who made this should never make movies again.
Olivia Megaton.
Yeah. Stop. Just stop.
You're done.
Because if you make a movie worse than this, somebody's going to press charges.
That'll be your last day of filmmaking. Ba-doom. All right. I'm going to go into movies watched this week.
Okay.
I didn't watch anything this week other than Skyfall with Naomi because I made her watch it for the engagement.
That's the first one that she watched was Skyfall.
Yeah.
She set the bar high.
Well, I don't think she would watch any more of them. So my thing was, she said that she would watch Spectre, and so I turned on this movie, Last Days of American Crime, last night, and she's like, 30 minutes in, she's like, this is a weird James Bond movie.
I did hear that Spectre was bad.
This isn't like all the other ones that you talk about. And I'm like, other what? It's like Bond movies. Like, you think this is a Bond movie? Like, Moonraker wishes it was this bad. That one was pretty good, wasn't it? So we watched Skyfall because she's talking about never watching a James Bond movie. And then I proposed, and she'd do whatever I want for at least 2 days. And one of those days was Skyfall. And what she said, I don't see all the hype. It's an all right movie. And I said, she didn't like Silva. And I said, explain to me how he wasn't the best villain ever. And she couldn't. And she, after like a 5-minute rant I had, she went, all right, this movie's actually pretty good. And I'm like, yeah, stop being so resistant. This movie's amazing.
Yep.
10 out of 10. You're out your mind. And then I watched Spectre for our quickie episode this week.
Yep.
She didn't watch it with me. I probably should have got her too, but it's not a bad movie.
I don't think it would have made any sense.
Sure.
I think that she'd have to watch Casino and Quantum before Spectre.
At least Quantum.
At least Casino.
Maybe. Skyfall works for this movie because it talks about his past and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
if she's only going to watch one Bond movie ever, then I think it should be Skyfall.
Yeah.
Unless you go back to Sean Connery stuff, and then we could have that conversation.
Right. But the thing about Spectre, I think Quantum would confuse her with Spectre, only because it changes its name from Quantum to Spectre, the organization.
Yeah.
That would get confusing.
So you're thinking like Casino, Skyfall, Spectre?
Yeah. Only because Quantum would confuse the shit out of a non-Bond fan.
Yeah.
Who's like, well, wait. who's Spectre? And you're like, oh, it's Quantum. Oh. But why don't they call it Quantum? As the movie rights thing, they didn't own the rights to blah, 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 blah. Okay. Just confuse them. And yeah. Whatever.
I get it.
Yeah. My dad wanted us to bring up a point about Casino Royale that we didn't mention. It was the first Bond book written. Okay. My dad just wanted to throw his little tidbit of trivia.
That's a good point.
In there. But whatever, Dad, you don't know anything.
It's what launched Ian Fleming's Bond verse.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw a little jab at him that he doesn't know anything, and we're professional critics now, and he's nobody.
No, we're recreational critics.
But we get paid.
Oh, no.
So we're professional. Yeah.
It kind of upsets the whole name.
We're professionally recreational. I'll edit it out.
I guess it doesn't say amateur. We're not amateur critics.
Yeah.
We're recreational critics.
Yeah. We just happen to get paid every now and then. Very few dollars, but some dollars. And some dollars is better than no dollars.
And dollar.
I got $1. That's all I watched this.
17 episodes. Got
$1. What'd you watch
Making
this week?
it big time. I don't think I watched any movies, but I did. So Tina started watching Madam Secretary with me, and she loves that show.
Okay.
She's all in. So we watch that together whenever we watch stuff. And I started watching the 6th season of Alone because it just got put on Netflix.
What is that about?
So they take people, like amateur survivalists, and they put them in the wilderness, completely alone. And whoever lasts the longest gets prize money.
Ooh, how much prize money?
I think it's $250,000. I don't know if it's changed.
That's
but
still a lot of money.
Yeah. It's not like...
Is it over the course of a season?
Yes.
Okay.
But they don't put them in in a very friendly time. It's not like summer.
Right. It's like
right before winter hits.
Yeah. Oof.
And it's really good. So
how long are they there for? Oh, this is as long as they can, right?
Yeah, as long as they can take it.
Everyone else.
Yep.
But they're not in like the same forest either, are they?
They are in as equal areas as possible. So if an area doesn't have as much fresh water, they'll give you it's not like they design the area, but they scout it out. So you may have less access to water, but the hunting might be better.
Gotcha.
Or you might have a wind block to where it's easier to survive the climate.
Right.
So they try to make them equally balanced.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I might have to start watching this show.
Yeah. So season 6 is on Netflix now.
Okay.
I watched the first 3 seasons back when we still had cable.
Yeah.
And
when you were wasting your money on cable.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I stopped paying for cable 5 or 6 years ago. I was like, this is a huge waste of money at this point.
Well, when Tina and I still had cable, YouTube TV and stuff like that wasn't really a thing. And I have kids.
That's true.
So Disney and Nickelodeon and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's all kinds of ways.
It's not even we watch an incredible amount of TV.
I think today's day and age, right now, 2020, cable is a big waste of money.
Yeah, I agree.
There's so many things you can get for way cheaper. Even if you were to say, well, you're paying $8 a month for Netflix, you're paying $8 a month for Disney, and you're paying $6 a month for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I can buy every streaming service every month, and I'm still paying less than what I would pay for cable.
Right. And I can also subscribe to Netflix this month, and then jump over to Amazon next month.
Yeah,
and just keep rotating it like that.
I don't have to do a 2-month or 2-year deal.
Yeah.
And keep getting my prices.
I can come and go as I please.
Yeah. And there's always deals if I leave. I can come back with a new email address.
Yep. Tina and I, we'll get YouTube TV for a little while and then stop and then come back. That way we can catch up on all the shows we used to watch.
I didn't know YouTube has a TV.
Mm-hmm.
I know they have their premium. I'm never going to pay for. But they have premium. That's all I know about. Is that the same thing? Or
no, YouTube TV is like having cable through YouTube.
Oh.
So all the different people that provide that. So you got DirecTV. They have their mobile-friendly internet cable.
Right.
Then there's Sling, YouTube TV. There's a lot of different ones. Gotcha. PlayStation View had their thing for a while.
Yeah, my dad was all about that for a while. He's a big PlayStation
supposedly
guy.
It was the one to have.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But all of them have different channels.
Gotcha. All right. Not bad.
Yep.
Might look into something like that, but I have the internet instead, and I just find whatever I want on the internet.
Yeah. I haven't really been watching a lot of movies.
I try to. It's just been a busy week. Planning weddings are fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
I'm looking at April of next year, by the way.
My wife planned. So we were going to get married and spend a lot of money on it.
Yes.
And then I went away for a while for work.
Yep.
And then basically we decided that we weren't going to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we lost out a little bit of money on deposits.
Yeah.
But we just threw an impromptu, like 3-week notice wedding.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. But Tina planned all of it by herself.
Oof.
Yeah.
Sounds brutal. I've been married once before, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the wedding I wanted then. And so this time I'm going to have the wedding I want.
Going to go all out.
Yeah. You want to get married twice once. So.
I love it.
So that's it for me for the show. You got anything else?
I asked Tina if I can perform all my best man duties.
Yes.
And she said, no holds barred.
Okay.
So whatever that means to us, me being 32 and pretty boring at this point.
Yeah. I want to say on the record for Naomi, who watches this every week or listens to it, no strippers on the record.
Okay.
I don't want that.
Stop
fight.
winking, Jason.
I'm not winking. Baby, I promise.
This is a fun game.
Yep. This is going to be so much fun that you just torture me with for a while.
That's why I did it.
Yeah, we'll be appropriate. I promise. That's it for the show I have. You got nothing else other than the best man thing? I think next week I want to do Dub 5 Bloods.
Okay. I was thinking we could do Knives Out.
Is that a streaming service now?
It's on Amazon Prime now.
Ooh. That's a Daniel Craig movie.
It is. And it's supposed to be pretty good.
With Chris Evans, Shannon.
Yep. Rian Johnson made it. And I kind of hate Rian Johnson for what he did to Star Wars.
Yep.
Although I don't blame him individually.
Right. It's definitely studio involvement.
Yep.
In that. So
we'll have to... Maybe we put a poll up on the Tweeter.
We'll get no responses, but we can try.
Hey, I'll vote.
Okay. You don't have Twitter. How can you vote?
I'll get one.
You lying son of a bitch. I'll put a poll up on Twitter. How about that? I'll put a poll up on our Facebook too. We're going to get 2 options with a poll on Facebook because Facebook is trash. But I
think we've only got 2 options right now. So
that's okay.
How convenient. Serendipitous.
That's it for the show. Thank you everyone for listening. Don't forget we come out every Sunday on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Anchor, blah 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 blah. Don't forget to leave a like, follow, and a sub on our YouTube or Spotify. It really shows love. You can follow us at Rec Critics Pod on Twitter or recreationalcritics@gmail.com. And what else? Am I missing anything else?
I don't think so.
Send us in your requests, your comments, your concerns.
Vote on the poll.
Vote on the poll. Please vote because
for the love of God,
we need to start finding movies you guys want to watch and not movies I want to watch that James gets mad at me for me picking.
It's not always that way. It's just been that way lately.
I've been picking some really bad movies. It's not my fault, but we're recreational.
I think
critics,
next week we'll try to get a good movie.
Yeah, we'll try.
Unless 5 Bloods is trash. I don't think it's gonna be though.
Yeah, have you seen that one? Right, like the trailer.
I've seen the trailer for it.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit excited for it with everything going on. I think it's a good little fit. But don't forget to check us out on Thursday also for the Recreational Critics Quickie on Spectre.
Indeed.
All right, have a good one, everyone.
Have a good one.
This has been a presentation of the Project Entertainment Network.